All right, let's talk about learning. Today, we're diving into a powerful playbook with 5 solid strategies designed to help you learn anything way faster. Have you ever wondered about this? I mean, you see someone just pick up a language or an instrument like it's nothing, and they're fluent in months. Meanwhile, you feel like you're stuck on page 1 forever. It's super frustrating, right? Well, what if the reason has nothing to do with what you think it does?
And that's the real secret. It's not about being born a genius or having some kind of natural gift. The huge difference comes down to the strategies people use. It's all about having the right techniques in your back pocket.
Which brings us to this core idea, meta-learning. It's a bit of a buzzword, but all it really means is learning how to learn. Taking a step back, looking at the process itself, and then using specific tricks to make the whole thing way more efficient.
Okay, so let's get practical. We're going to start building our toolkit with 2 incredibly powerful strategies. These are all about making the time you spend studying actually count.
First up is a big one, active recall. Now, this is the exact opposite of just passively rereading your notes or highlighting a textbook. Active recall means you're forcing your brain to pull information out of thin air, which actually makes the memory so much stronger.
And yeah, this says it all. Instead of just looking at the answer, you're actively asking your brain, hey, what was that thing again? This is why flashcards work. Or just, closing the book and trying to explain a concept out loud. It feels harder, for sure, but that's the whole reason it works.
Tool number 2 is spaced repetition. So our brains have this thing called the forgetting curve. Basically, we're wired to forget stuff over time. Spaced repetition is the perfect way to fight that. It's all about reviewing information right at the moment you're about to forget it.
This is such a perfect modern-day example. There are tons of apps out there that do all the work for you. You learn a new word, and the app brings it back to you in a day, then in 3 days, then a week later. It's an almost effortless way to hammer that info into your long-term memory.
Now, here's where the magic really happens. It's when you put these 2 together. Think about it. Active recall is how you review, by testing yourself. Spaced repetition is when you review, at those perfect intervals. You combine those 2, that is one of the most scientifically backed ways to remember anything.
Okay, so we've covered the mechanics, the how, and the when. But that's only half of it. What about your mindset? What's going on inside your head when you're trying to learn? Let's get into the psychology of it all.
Let's talk about cognitive load. The best way to picture this is to think of your brain's working memory like the RAM on your computer. If you have way too many tabs open, everything slows down and eventually just crashes, right? Your brain works the exact same way. The goal is to not overload it. This is such a great example. Trying to understand a new language just by listening is, well, it's exhausting. Your brain is trying to process new sounds, new words, the speed. It's just too much. Adding subtitles takes some of that pressure off. It lowers the cognitive load, so your brain can actually absorb the new stuff.
All right, next up, creating an immersive environment. This is all about making the thing you're learning a part of your everyday life, not just something you do for an hour in the evening. It's about surrounding yourself with it so it starts to feel totally natural.
And this is exactly why it's so incredibly effective. You're not going to learn how people really talk from a textbook. You pick that up from hearing it all the time, in music, in movies, and actual conversations. Immersion gives you all that real-world context. So how do you actually do this without, moving to another country? Well, it's easier than you think. Here are 3 simple things you can do right now. 1, change the language on your phone. 2, start watching shows or listening to podcasts in that language. And 3, find someone to practice with. Boom. Tiny changes, huge impact.
So, our final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, this might be the most important one of them all. This isn't just another technique. It's a core belief you have to have about your own ability to learn. It's the engine that drives everything else.
And that belief is based on a proven, scientific fact called neuroplasticity. What it means is that your brain isn't some fixed objects that you're stuck with. It's constantly changing, reorganizing itself, and building new connections every single time you learn something. Your brain is adaptable.
I love this example because it just completely shatters that old myth, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's just flat out wrong. Your brain's ability to learn and adapt doesn't just switch off when you get older. As long as you're consistent, neuroplasticity is always there, ready to work for you.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, from memory hacks to psychology to the basic power of your brain. So let's wrap it all up and look at the complete playbook.
So here it is, your 5-point plan. Use active recall to test yourself and make memories stick. Use spaced repetition to schedule those tests perfectly. Manage your cognitive load so you don't burn out. Create an immersive environment to learn passively. And most important of all, believe in neuroplasticity. Believe that your brain can and will change.
Look, this isn't just a bunch of theory. It's a real toolkit. So the only real question left is, where are you going to start? Which one of these are you going to try first? Maybe it's as